Hello everyone, we are back today with another revisit in these dark scalping times, and this time we are revisiting the RTX 2070. If you have watched our earlier video of the 1080 Ti revisit, you know the reason why we are here doing this. If you have missed it, be sure to check the video out link in the description below. So let's begin with a little history of the RTX 2070. The RTX 2070 was launched in October 2018 based on the Turing architecture and was the first generation of ray tracing GPU, and it has second generation of tensor cores which support deep learning super sampling, or also known as DLSS. So with a quick recap done, this is gonna be our test bench, so here are the specifications of it. We are not only doing a revisit but sort of a comparison of the 1080 Ti versus the RTX 2070 today in 2021. So let's go ahead with the benchmarks and see who comes out at the top in rasterization based benchmarks, as a 1080 Ti does not support DLSS and ray tracing, so we have to keep that in mind and compare it accordingly with the RTX 2070. We begin with Metro Exodus, released in 2019. Metro Exodus is a very graphic intensive title, so I always include it in my benchmarks. The RTX 2070 at 1080p holds 46 FPS average at extreme settings, which is great, but the 1080 Ti does a little better here with 54 FPS average. At 1440p or 2K, RTX 2070 is down at 38 frames average, and 1080 Ti is at 46 FPS average. At 4K Ultra preset, we had to bring down the settings from extreme to ultra. For 4K, both are at 32 FPS average, both the graphics cards. So next up we have Red Dead Redemption 2 at 1440p. Both are doing pretty much the same, with RTX 2070 getting 70 FPS average and the 1080 Ti getting 73 FPS average. At 4K, the 1080 Ti still holds that 2 to 3 frames lead with 42 FPS average and 2070 at 40 FPS average. In Hitman 3 we see things change here, with 1080 Ti holding the lead at 135 FPS average and the RTX 2070 at an average of 104 FPS. At 2K, the RTX 2070 is down at 78 FPS average and the 1080 Ti at 90 FPS average. At 4K, the 1080 Ti is nearly hitting the 60 FPS mark with 57 FPS average and the 2070 at 46 FPS average.
She'll flip. She demands perfection. This morning you haven't told her yet.
Excuse me? I need you to follow.
Well, just make sure we don't drown her. Okay?
Don't worry, we'll be fine.
Next up is Cyberpunk 2077. At 1080p, the RTX 2070 manages 61 FPS average. At 2K, it manages around 39 FPS average, and at 4K, it manages around 21 FPS average. The 1080 Ti manages around 67 FPS average at 1080p, and at 4K and 2K, 27 and 45 FPS respectively.
I'll knock him down.
In Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, RTX 2070 manages around 66 FPS average at 2K, and the 1080 Ti manages around 82 average FPS.
Almost my ideal rifle. Undead threat new.
Next up, we have Doom Eternal to 2K 114 FPS average and at 4K 63 FPS average. The 1080 Ti here is still in the lead with 143 and 75 FPS average at 2K and 4K respectively. So before going into the conclusion, here is the comparison between the GTX 1080 Ti and the RTX 2070 through the average FPS chart. So are you looking for a used card? It is difficult choice between the RTX 2070 and the 1080 Ti. I would love to hear what you would go for in the comment section down below. Anyways, I would say if you care about RTX and DLSS, go with the RTX 2070. If you don't care about the ray tracing, go for the 1080 Ti. It's clear as that. DLSS is a great feature, but there are not a lot of games that has this new DLSS. The old version of the DLSS was complete trash, and the DLSS has come a long way since then, and the implementation in games such as Death Stranding, Control, and Cyberpunk 2077 helps you get more FPS, like pretty much more, 30% extra you can get depending on the title. So if you're still at a 2070, I would suggest you wait for a 3080 Ti whenever it's launched, and if it's available for you, then go buy it. That's a highly unlikely scene the circumstances, but yes, that's a great upgrade. Otherwise, you may sit out this generation and upgrade to RTX 4000 series or whatever they launch like years from now, and a worthy upgrade that should be. And you can also get a AMD's RX 6900 XT or 6800 XT if you don't care about ray tracing. For now, the 2070 is pretty good for 1080p and 2K gaming. So are you gonna upgrade soon, or are you gonna wait? Give us your thoughts in the comments down below. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our videos. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.